Well, it's a new year, and it's the same three. Back at you, man. Third Down Media in the building. Marc Henry, Greg Hammer, Creative Jones in the building. Hammer Media, let's get it, man. Lots of great things have been happening in the offseason. Lots of controversial things, if you will. We're going to knock it all out and hit you in the head with it and talk about it right here, man. First of all, Hammer, man, what's been going on? Tell me how you've been doing and what you've been working on recently.
Busy.
Busy.
Man.
Little basketball?
Oh, man, please. Yes, little basketball. Warner Grove girls.
Shout out to those girls, yeah.
We went 5 rounds, played Ryan tough.
Right.
Went down by 12. The initial rush in the beginning settled down. Down by 7-9 in the third or fourth.
Right.
Gave it a good game. I'm proud of the girl.
Yeah.
Did a little basketball. Just did the Under Armour camp. Got to see some middle schoolers, some high schoolers.
Yeah.
That's always good to see all that talent in one area.
Right.
That was really nice.
Absolutely.
Knew a lot of them youngsters.
Absolutely.
That I've seen in other camps.
Right.
We're just rolling, going into spring, man. Spring ball's fixing to
light up. Yeah. Man, well, it's a lot of things been going on in the offseason, but we're going to start with the district realignment. I think that was a big thing. Of course, everybody was kind of tapped in with that earlier in the month of February. But we'll start with 6A. The kind of big shakeup, I thought, in my opinion, was Aledo moving up to 6A. But they kind of jumped over some people, some areas, that they could have been in the district. Of course, North Crowley is the closest in proximity in Crowley. They go over to the Arlington school districts, but I think it's still going to be very, very competitive. You got Arlington Lamar, Arlington High. You also have Arlington Martin, who's been a traditional power, but not as competitive as they have been in the past. I don't think it'll be a cakewalk for Aledo, but I think that they'll definitely get some challenges in there. What do you think about that?
No, I totally agree with you. I think there was several places they could have went.
Absolutely.
And I think this is, like you said, it's going to be competitive and hey, no matter what you do in district, when you go to the playoffs, it's a whole different ball game. You can win your district every year. It really doesn't mean too much, right? Until you get to the playoffs.
For sure.
So let's put it that way.
Well, the thing about Aledo is they have won a district every year. They have
they won it
over a decade long.
They won it in 5.
Right.
So it's a little different.
A little different.
Little different people.
Little step up is what you're saying?
Little step up.
Okay. I can agree with that, but I think Aledo will still be Aledo. How about Guyer, Wakeland, Louisville, Flower Mound Marcus, Hebron, and Braswell? I think those are some teams that pretty good and that, have familiarity with. But we'll get into some of the coaching hires, in here in just a little bit. Shout out to my guy, Coach Evans at Braswell, which I think is a great hire. But Guyer, of course, Louisville, they've kind of developed a little rivalry there.
Right.
Hebron, Marcus, and Little Lamb. Now, I'm hearing some things about Little Lamb. Maybe they got some guys that could be coming in this year that are growing up. They've had a young team in the last few years.
I saw it last year.
Okay.
I mean, they were more physical.
Sure.
They weren't. I definitely saw a change in them, and I see the program going in the right direction.
Sure.
I'm going to say that.
Right.
So.
Right.
We always know they had talent out there.
Of course.
Always.
I mean, in that area, it's talent rich. You got Lake Dallas. Of course, you got Denton, Guyer, and Ryan. Braswell has always had some talent, but just haven't been able to get over the hump.
Right.
So it's a talent-rich area. That 380, 35 corridor. There's been some talent that don't get talked about all the time.
As they say, there's something in the water.
Something in the water. Is it the lake?
I don't know what
Jones, I see you laughing.
Hey, Jones. Hey, man. They have some talent.
Some lake monsters or something?
Golly.
Now, another interesting district, Dallas Jesuit jumps in with Allen, McKinney Boyd, Princeton, Prosper, Rock Hill, and Walnut Grove moves up to 6A.
6A.
Jones, I see you shaking your head.
Who would have thought all that was going to go on?
Well,
I mean, now we got a little battle between 3 of the schools up here in Prosper, so it should make for some very interesting Friday night lights.
What do you think about Walnut Grove moving up?
Well, I mean, I any time you have a program that's started the last 2 or 3 years at 5A, you have to prepare yourself
right
for that for that step, right? Yeah. I mean, so when you're going to 6, you know the linemen, you gotta have certain pieces in certain places. So I think they it's gonna be adjustment. I think they're gonna do well, you know, but it'll be interesting. You know, I mean, when you have Allen, you know, which is Allen is back. And I think that first 3 on their schedule is letting people know that
they want the smoke.
We want the smoke.
Absolutely.
They are calling for it.
Well, I think they're taking a page out of some of the other schools around, like South Oak Cliff plays a schedule like this. North Crowley, which we're about to talk about as well, plays a difficult schedule.
Yes.
That prepares these guys along that line.
On the end. It's all about the end.
Right.
It is not the rabbit, it's the turtle.
Right.
Hey, slow pace, but you know you're going to end up at the end against certain people.
Right. Well, you got to be battle tested, and this kind of gives you that leverage to see where your program's at early in the year, and you can kind of make adjustments. But the big district, the District of Doom, gets a move in from West. You got to look at the North Crowley Panthers coming in. Crowley comes in as well. You got Skyline, Duncanville, Mansfield, Lake Ridge, Red Oak, and Hatchie.
Before you go any further, that's week 6, and we will be in the house.
Yes. Hatchie, North Crowley. It's going down. I think that's going to be a great district. You know, shout out to my guy, Coach Harris. Congratulations on getting the job over North Crowley. Had a chance to speak with him last month. And he's excited about the challenge. They also have a difficult schedule early on again. They play Aledo early. You know what I mean? And this is what the Panthers do. You know what I'm saying? They battle test. And I don't think anything, shout out to my guy, Coach Ray Gates for, you know, getting on at North Texas. Nothing's going to change within that program. It's going to be the same message. Super talented group. Shout out to my guy, Jerry Outhouse Jr., just committed to Georgia on Friday.
Yes, he sure did.
You know, a 5-star recruit. You've got one of the best cornerbacks in the freshman class in Braylon Cunningham. You got Keontae Ingram. Listen, they're loaded. They're going to be back. But now they get tested week after week in a district that includes Duncanville. What do you think about that?
No, I mean, it's always been that way. There's nothing new, right?
Absolutely.
They've always brought the smoke out there. So it's adding North Crowley in there just makes it even more interesting. Right
absolutely.
There. So,
absolutely.
Hold on. Let me butt in.
Let's go. I know what you're fixing to say.
He's tapping in now. He's tapping in.
I'm going to have to get it. Give me an air horn or something, right? You know what I'm saying? But who you think going to win that district, though?
I mean, I'll take this, you know, just out of looking at everything on paper, you know, you can't count out Waxahachie. You know, they got Jeremiah III coming back, who will be a senior quarterback. You got the hitman, who I call it Jaquan Snell, coming down, knocking boys' helmet off.
The hitman.
I mean, I think it's between, in my opinion, between North Crowley and Waxahachie. No slight to Duncanville, but they got to work out some things.
Duncanville?
They got to work out some things on the offensive side. They got to work out some things on the offensive side.
We just said no.
This is early.
Come on now.
Now see, he's shaking his head because he's going to clip this and remind me. You know, they try to get you, boy. You know what I'm saying?
So Mark put his 2 cents in. I put my 2 cents. I say Hatchie too. Battle tested. Quarterback been there since he was a sophomore going into his
27 class.
No, he been battle tested.
Yeah.
He done seen the smoke.
Y'all saying new Hatchie.
It's the same Hatchie.
No, it ain't going to change.
Shout out to my guy, Coach Williams.
We ain't saying new Hatchie. It's Hatchie.
To our guy, Hamilton, for going on and securing that.
Say less.
All the content over there.
It's about to turn up. The new Hatchie is coming, for sure. Shout out to Hamilton Field of Visions, man. Listen, I think, you know, and this is early. Without seeing the teams this spring, which we will, I think that you got to look at what they have coming back. What I know, you know what I'm saying? Duncanville's got some holes to fill, but they still have a talented group. As long as you have Trenton Yancey on offense, you got a chance to put the ball in his hands. They lost some firepower now. You know what I mean? They lost some firepower on their defense.
True.
Both of those edges are gone. So this is going to be some young guys coming in to fill it out. But again, it's Coach Samples, a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
A Hall of Famer. He's going to have these guys ready to play. But I just think looking at that, and this is going on paper of what we have from last year, we have not seen the teams yet this year. North Crowley coming in has the most experience along with Waxahachie.
Period.
I mean, on paper, that's what we're looking at.
Yes.
Now, we ain't even talking about going into coaching and other variables that you're going to have. You know what I'm saying? North Crowley's coming in. They were a game away from state. Waxahachie was 8 points from beating Duncanville.
Thank you. And came back.
I was at that game.
So, John, you asked a question. We giving you the response.
Okay. I mean,
so you asked a question.
Okay.
And we let you know.
I did.
Listen, you won't get this anywhere else for Third Down Media. So you better tune in.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Tune
in, stay locked. You know what I'm saying? Let's move over to 5A real quick. I think that we know that DeSoto and Cedar Hill are dropping down to 5A.
Wait, hold on one second. Can you repeat that?
DeSoto and Cedar Hill are dropping down to 5A.
So they were 6A.
They were 6A. Been 6A for years.
And they're dropping down.
They're dropping down.
Wait, hold on. Did DeSoto win state several times at 6A?
Hey, that's a cakewalk.
Wait, hold on. Did they win? I think they won a couple state championships.
Man, shout out to my guy, Coach Claude Mathis, man, and DeSoto. Shout out to my guy, Sarad Baker, who took home the MVP running back at the Under Armour recent camp. You were there for sure.
I'm going to just tell you I'm going to just tell you one thing.
That's a bad man.
That's a bad boy. Hold on one second. Look. If you didn't know what number he was wearing, if he had a helmet on and you didn't know who he was, you felt his energy.
Right.
And that is not a lie. Because every time he got the ball, he was in somebody's face and you could hear him and you knew who he was.
Right.
And that's the truth.
Right.
Ruth.
Right.
No, he's a bad boy.
Listen, I think this is one of the top backs in the country, not just in the state of Texas. I thought Landon, coming into this season, Landon Williams Callis from Randall was probably the number one running back in the state of Texas. That gap has closed significantly. Sarad Baker is right there. You know what I mean? On the cusp of, to me, he's almost the best player in the state.
He has hands.
He's got hands. He's got everything. Hands. But I think his tenacity.
What would make him the number one? Like, what do you feel like he's lacking, or that little bit of?
I don't think he's lacking anything. It just depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on who's evaluating and what they're looking for.
Yes.
And it's also when you talk about colleges, what system he fits well. You know, because he's got all the offers that you want.
Yes.
You know, he's got Texas, he's got Ohio State, A&M. All the colleges just want this guy.
Yes.
And he put the production up. In sophomore year, he was sharing time with Mike Johnson Cook. But he was still putting on a show. This year, it was unprecedented what he did in the playoffs, just in those 6 games. He was the difference in DeSoto going to win a state championship this year. They figured that out late, because I was at the North Crowley game. You know, they come off early in the year and everybody was, what's wrong with DeSoto? They went to Georgia and got beat handedly. I come back, I go to the North Crowley game. You know, we had a weather delay and everything.
I'm going to pause you for a second.
Go ahead.
Because as we were going in the season, you looked at me and said, don't forget about the Southern.
I always
just
say
because that 70 and they lost that right there. I know weeks past you looked at me and said, "Don't." They're
gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine.
You told me that
because first of all, Sarad was playing quarterback. He was playing quarterback early in the year. They had an injury to Legend at that particular time. Legend Howe. That's the reason they shifted the gears, because they were able to put him back in his natural position and get the ball in his hands in the air or on the ground. That offensive line, they made some changes. And shout out to the coaching staff. Not enough is being, attention or accolades being mentioned to the coaching staff and Coach Claude Mathis. What they did. They made the adjustments. But I could see when they played North Crowley very well. We just had the weather delay. Of course, Mother Nature got into it. Both coaches wanted to play this game, and we ended up finishing it into the late night hours. But you could see right then that DeSoto had the team to play with anybody in the state, and they backed it up. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you have to really not watch football from just the touchdowns and the pomp and circumstances of a Friday night. You have to get in there and watch the X's. This is the reason we go to games. This is the reason we talk about it and look at film and do these things. Is because you gotta get open. It's layers to it. It's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? And then them playing that district schedule, which featured Duncanville, Waxahachie, Cedar Hill, that prepared those guys early on. And Coach Mathis will tell you, he schedules these games, and you look at that district that they're in, they're battle tested. Now coming into this year, they got a couple holes to fill, but Baker's still going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Whoever they get in there at quarterbacks, going to know that all he has to do is turn around and hand it off to this boss dog that he got in the backfield.
You think he get 2,000?
Oh, I ain't gonna say easily, but yes, I think he does because he's gonna get the touches. He's gonna have the production and opportunity. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be bigger, faster, and stronger.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can look at his body, and you saw this last week. You can look. He's already gotten bigger since the season ended. You know what I'm saying? He's faster. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen clips of him at 7-on-7, mousing boys on the 7-on-7 circuit. So the athleticism, everything you can do. And listen, he plays special teams. He's an all-around athlete. He can play defense if you wanted him to. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is one of the best players in the country. Forget just the state of Texas. And there's a reason that all the colleges are clamoring and knocking at his door right now.
Just so that everybody heard you clearly. This is the best?
The running back?
Yes, he is
in the country.
There we go.
Yeah.
There it is.
I will say this, because I shout out to my guy, Landon Williams-Callaway. That's my guy as well. They're two of the top in the country, in my opinion. I think that he's closed the gap from the beginning of last season when we talk about these evaluations that people are giving out when they go to rankings or whatever. Again, rankings are somebody's opinion. That's, could be his opinion. So you can't get lost on rankings. You actually have to go see these games.
Look at the film
and put them together. You know what I'm saying? Now, from a scouting perspective, you guys have heard me say this. I look at guys in the off season because I get around the country with 7-on-7. I go to camps. I go to workouts or, things in the spring. See them in the fall when they get ready to go to practice, and then we see them at a game. So scouting is threefold. That's the way that these colleges make their decision on these guys. It's an evaluation period. Right now, the 27s and 28s are being evaluated. That's why you see the offers going out, and some 29s, they're getting evaluated by these college programs to get those offers. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. We talked about this before we came on, committable and just an offer. It's just like you taking your girl out. You make that introduction. It's like dating, you know what I'm saying? You pick her up, you get in the car, you take her to the movies, buy some popcorn and stuff like that. You're going to win her heart without just putting some work in. You understand what I'm saying? The colleges have to get to know you. And listen, parents, they're getting recruited as well. So, social media is being watched. They have people in these recruiting departments.
Hold on. Because I know you kind of breeze through that kind of quick. I think you need to, really put some emphasis on that parents, you are an extension of your child.
Absolutely.
You can mess off the bag.
Absolutely. Well, what we mean by that is they are watching you just as much as they're watching the kid, because if they're going to, for big time college football, if they're going to invest, hundreds of thousands of dollars in your kid, they want to know that they can trust the parents to not be too be involved, or the parents not saying something that's hurting the program. You know what I mean? So those are the type of things that they watch. And then when you come to look at genetics and measurables, hey, if your dad's 6'5" and your mom's 5'10", the kid's going to land in there somewhere. They look at these things when you go to these visits. They may not say that, but that's being evaluated. And that's just a little sauce for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, man, we're going to take a quick break. If you haven't already, go ahead and make sure that you like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying?
Tap in.
This third
down, man. You know what I'm saying? Third Down Media, 3 ways we got you.